Hi friends, welcome back. I want to go over some comments that we got recently. This is coming from Michelle 4 hours ago. Can someone do one on Kathy Woods? So she's referring to make a video with Bitcoin saying it's going to go to 1.5 million. Just crazy. I feel like she does the same thing with Bitcoin. And this is on a Larry Jones video I just made. And I replied with a couple of videos and say, hey, you can search my channel for more Kathy Wood content if you want to see that. Another comment coming in. This is from Jonathan Deller, just 9 hours ago. Person says, interesting video, Chris. And this is on a video that I made about Tesla Pumper, the solving money problem dude. And he says here, I've watched quite a few videos from that channel and never once thought of it as a so-called, quote, pumper channel. But you're right. He does put a positive spin on Tesla news for sure. There's obviously a gray area between bullish and pumping or shilling. I don't really hear him talking about buying stock, but he's subtly supporting it by dismissing or minimizing criticisms of the company. And then I reply, he lies constantly by omission. You can find my old and new videos about pumpers like this, and I leave a link to one of the videos. The reason why I'm having this conversation with you today is because there's a headline that came out, and I think it's an important one to talk about in the ramifications of sort of the changes that we have in society. This is the headline: Sports Illustrated thrown into chaos with mass layoffs. The basic gist of it is that this is a legacy publication. I'm pushing 50, so I remember Sports Illustrated. Young kids, I don't know if they know what it is, but if you're my age, like, you would know. It was the hot sports mag, and essentially, if you got on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I mean, you're awesome. You're at the top of your game. Moreover, the swimsuit issue was really popular, and I'm saying, guys, it was a big publication. The thing is that these kind of publications, really suffered if they didn't transition to an online world, which is sort of where we are now. And it's not just Sports Illustrated, many print publications that were going down this route. They recently had a conference call on Friday. I'll go over just a couple of the details of it. And basically they fired people. So it says here, reporters and editors for Sports Illustrated were asked on Friday to attend a Zoom call at 2 p.m. It lasted just 7 minutes. So just imagine that you're a worker at a company and it's like Friday, you're looking at your sort of watch the whole time and just getting ready to go home, or maybe you already work from home, but you're ready to do the weekend stuff. And then your boss is like, hey, we got a mandatory meeting at 2, and then they're like, you're going to be fired. And then they told other people you got 90 days left, and like the future is completely uncertain. And so just imagine that it's not a great environment to be in. And this Sports Illustrated situation is not the only company out there that's doing these kind of things. The reason why I want to bring this up and I show you the user comments is that we need like reporters, like we need investigative journalism. Okay. I understand there's a group of people out there that say, oh, I hate all media. I hate mainstream media. I only watch TikTok. That's the problem, the culture that I'm trying to share with you. Like we don't just need TikTok. Like, you need people who have integrity, people who want to find the truth, and people who want to, expose fraudulent things that are happening around the world. Not just fraudulent things, but any number of things. Just want to expose the truth. That's the best way to put it. I'll give you another example. I recommend. I just made a last video. That's why it's been on my mind about this movie BitCon, and I recommend you guys see it. It's done by Netflix, and basically they go through and they interview a bunch of people who ran a crypto scam, and it's just fascinating to hear an inside look at it. Now the reason why, like, say, a movie like this is important, and I'll show you guys. These were the original articles that sort of got the ball rolling on uncovering the crypto scam over at Centra. I'll just read the headlines. You can read it for yourself. How Floyd Mayweather helped two guys from Miami get rich. And here's another one. Two founders of the 32 million Centra virtual currency project are arrested. Now, if you understand the sort of like how the world works is, there's criminals doing stuff all the time. There's shady people doing, things all the time on YouTube, social media, etc. But the authorities can't just go and arrest everyone all day, every day. There's too much of it, right? And you need actually these kind of people, say in the situation of the reporters. I think this was New York Times, like looking into the whole Mayweather thing, or for example, someone's like, hey, can you look into what's going on with Kathy Woods and her pumping of Bitcoin? Or someone's like, hey, can you, I'm happy you made this video about the solving problem money due to the Tesla, because yes, he is a pumper now that I see it. The point is that if there's no one there to point this kind of stuff out, like these kind of people win. The con person wins. You guys understand what I'm saying? And the thing I value with you in this community is that we share ideas with each other. Because like sometimes I'm like, hey guys, I read this thing in the news. This is not necessarily my expertise. I don't know every industry in the world. I just can't. But when you get a group of people that you are trusted for stuff like this and have conversations about it, then you start to really generate better analysis on these kind of things, right? This could be economy, it could be various countries, it could be various types of businesses, etc. And moreover, the reason why I'm say for kids out there who want to be journalists or anything of this nature, even YouTuber, etc. The world needs people who have integrity. Sorry, I cried a little bit, but this is why I wanted to become a professor. I want my students, and I want you as a listener to understand the need for people of integrity, and the need for people to do that digging and do that research that other people aren't going to do. I think one of the reasons why, like when I was just thinking about this, talking with you out loud, you may or not know, I found my family after 48 years. It was this year, just a few months ago, and I went back. They live in Baltimore, and I was talking to my brother, and he pointed out a YouTuber that he was been watching, and I looked at the YouTuber's channel, and it was like obviously a scam. It was like obviously a scam, and it turned out not only just my brother, but like my sister had been scammed. It wasn't YouTuber. This was like back in the '08 bubble essentially. And then I had like another brother that had been scammed, etc. Like the point I'm trying to tell you, and even though I had been separated from this family for years, just going back and meeting them and then find out how they had gotten scammed, and I just thought to myself, God, if I would have been around them during these periods, I could have saved them or helped them, etc. If you guys understand what I mean by that. And it's the same way, if this article didn't exist, the one exposing Mayweather as being a crypto pumper, basically, or if someone didn't go through and ask the tough questions, to figure out, hey man, these look like these people are a bunch of frauds, and they were. That's why you got to watch this movie, because it kind of goes through the story of that. These people can go on and keep cheating. Moreover, this is sort of why we go over these kind of articles. This is the recent one we just talked about before on the channel where, and this here's every headline: Tesla blamed drivers for failures of parts it long knew were defective. And so, you need these kind of publications that have people that work there, and that's their job is to find corruption in any number of places. And I understand that this is the problem that we face right now, is that there's like a large group of people out there that just like dismiss all this stuff. Oh no, we don't need these articles. These are just hit pieces. It's like, I mean, maybe, but if you understand the world that we live in, the corruption is widespread everywhere. And I don't just dismiss everything all the time just because I don't like it. Like, let's say I'm a fan of Floyd Mayweather because I think he's a fun boxer, and then I read this article, oh, they just hate Floyd Mayweather. Like, I think that's a horrible perspective. I think it's better to look into it for yourself, right? Read through the stuff, see if it sounds credible to you, like actually, challenge yourself, right? The same way that the person here, and if you're watching my channel, I'm probably speaking to the choir, but I just want you to understand like the real need for this stuff, and why I feel saddened when, say, a publication like Sports Illustrated is going downhill, or going to basically cease to exist, because I think the whole industry is in trouble, to be really frank. But when you see this kind of video where this comment where the person's like, hey, I watched this solving money, problem guide, and I never thought I was a pumper before until I saw, your video. And it's like, it reminds me of why we need more, how to say it, reasonable, rational people out there. I'll give you another example, guys. This is something that I did, and this was like over a year ago now. I made a video, and it's called FTX Scam Puppets Exposed. And it was actually a pretty earth-shattering video, if you understand what it is. Basically, as it turned out, I had discovered that multiple YouTubers and all the big finance ones all work with the same agency. Basically, there's a network of these people all pumping FTX. And I was the first person to come out with that. And then suddenly everyone picked up on it, and now everyone knows. And as it turned out, which is really interesting, Spencer Cornelia, dude, if you don't know who that is, he's also with the agency, and he's supposed to be like a scam uncoverer person. But he came out and started defending all the other finance YouTubers, which is kind of weird. But if you understand that he's at the same agency with the people and they're all friends, it makes much more sense. You can even watch a video of me fighting, like literally yelling at each other with Spencer, which is kind of a funny one. For real, you can watch it for yourself. Moreover, when I uncover people, say, for example, the Meet Kevin thing and his DWI problems, he threatens to sue me. right? And it's interesting because goes back to say like the Larry Jones thing that just happened yesterday, which I told you guys about. The reason why Kevin's so mad is because like I just literally go through all of the house hack and this like his new venture thing, companies, like all the disclosures and disclaimers and stuff like that. And there's like a key disclaimer there that says you can lose all your money and we don't have to give it back. It's basically like that. And the point is what I'm trying to say is like when people don't defend the thing that they're doing, but just basically, hey, you're racist, or hey, I'm going to sue you because you're mean to me, that kind of stuff. You got a problem. And moreover, the police aren't going to touch this kind of stuff. There's no one going to save you for these kind of things, right? So the FTX, if you get scammed, you're probably out of luck if you're just a regular retail person. I'm just being honest with you. If Meet Kevin goes out and scams you, you're probably out of luck. There's no way you're going to get your money back. There's so much of this stuff, and you're too small potatoes that no one's going to come save you. And I know it sounds mean, but that's just the reality. I think for young kids out there, they think that mom and dad or whatever person is going to come save you, but it's just not like that. The way the world works, think of it this way, and I'll show you a couple more examples because like these people are everywhere. Be it your Ben Shapiro guy or Dave Ramsey guy or Heresy Financial, right? Please watch these videos if you haven't seen them already. But if Dave Ramsey comes and like sells you some scammy course that he has a bunch of those courses for like $3,000 or something like that, and you take said course and it doesn't improve your life, there's no one really you can go to get your money back. It's not going to happen. Like it's only a couple $1,000s, and for big companies or lawyers, it's not worth their time, etc. But to you, that's actually a sizable amount of money, right? And this list goes on of like this kind of stuff that happens. And so the reason why I'm making these kind of things is because our world environment is changing to where there's a possibility in the future. We don't necessarily see these kind of articles so much anymore, be it the one on Floyd Mayweather or the one exposing, say, the censor thing, because the agency or I say news organization that would have employees on staff and they would have readers and stuff like that, like essentially the money to investigate scams, crimes, or whatever. Isn't there anymore, right? So this is sort of why I'm concerned about the Sports Illustrated thing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Sports Illustrated in particular is an interesting one. They're part of this thing called Arena Group, and they're part of two different conglomerates. Arena Group is one, and then the other one is and it's kind of complicated. They have like this weird structure here. The other one's called Authentic Brands. Authentic Brands is interesting because they have like a whole bunch of celebrities and stuff underneath them. And this is something I just like to show you guys on the channel because many people don't know these kinds of worlds. If you don't know, I used to work in Hollywood, entertainment, these kind of stuff. So I'm well aware of how these things are made or done, I guess a better way to say it. So for example, like David Beckham, Eddie Bauer, Above the Rim, Aeropostale. You probably know these names and brands, right? You know David Beckham. I'm sure you know what Aeropostale is. I think Shaquille O'Neal's in this one. He's not in this picture, but they're the same. Hunter brand, which is the boots, Reebok, these kind of things, like they're all under the same. Forever 21, they're under the same kind of umbrella. And this kind of stuff what you may or not know is that we're going to sort of this model to where you're getting fewer and fewer people who have a platform, and they're all under the same platform, if you know what I mean. It is interesting because you have and what I mean by fewer and fewer people, I should say a better way to say it is like there's a few and fewer big companies that control everything. That's a better way to say it. Now it is true though that you don't necessarily have to be David Beckham to have influence these days. These days someone can just literally turn their camera, hop on YouTube, and they can start building a following. Here's the difference, and this is sort of where things become really interesting. Is in the past, say, for example, if I wanted to work, let's go back to here. This is a good example. So this is Arena Group. This is some of the publications that they have under their umbrella. So Sports Illustrated, The Street. They also have Parade, Men's Journal, etc. In the past, if I wanted to, get into media, journalism, these kind of things, I would, have to go to school, get an education, have, resume, work experience. I have to have a bit of integrity. At least I hope so. But point being is I have to have some sort of resume to qualify to do these things and have skills. These days in the world of TikTok, YouTube, there isn't really any barrier to entry. So that means anyone can do it, which positively, yes, it's great that anyone can do it, and it's democracy. But also not good because anyone can do it, because then now we have people who can just get up and just make up anything that they want. Literally. and there's no regulations really there in place. This is a real problem. Misinformation, disinformation, these kind of things. So that's why when I look at this stuff, I probably as a business model, and this is their stock, this Arena Group. I mean, you can see it's only going in one direction. Probably as a business model, it's just not going to survive anymore. But without these, professional organizations to do investigative journalism, I'm just gonna give you a couple examples. Maybe we would never know that Mark McGuire, and if you're old enough to know who this person is, maybe we would never know that he's doing steroids, right? Like the police aren't going to go and investigate Mark McGuire. It's not something that's just not really their job, right? The police are probably more concerned about, traffic, and because like it's more pressing to your daily lives, like, traffic stops, or maybe your neighbors are too loud, or et cetera, right? Someone's robbing a bank, whatever. But we need like journalists and things like that to figure out, what's going on in sports, right? This kind of thing. And I'll give you one even more important, like, say there's a war in another country, in this situation, Vietnam, or you could even talk about, what's going on in Israel or Ukraine or whatever. You need, independent investigative journalism to figure out what is really happening and inform the public. You guys know what I'm saying here? So I hope we don't live in a world to where all of these professional organizations, be it your Sports Illustrated or anything, right? And you can name any one. We'll just use Bloomberg, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, right? Financial Times. We go through these every day. But if we live in a world where like these organizations don't exist anymore, and everything is just based on what people say on TikTok and YouTube, it's going to be a whole crazy society, and we're going that way. And I think because of that, when you don't necessarily have any fact checking anymore, or how can I say, there's so much information out there that no one can possibly fact check everything, because I can't make every video all the time, for your guys' comments, and I try to answer your comments as best as I can, but it's hard because there's just so much out there. I just worry about the future, and so this is something that one is I recommend seeing this movie again. I already made a video about it, but it really affected me deeply when I saw it, because I think it just really captures sort of what's going on with youth culture today, and I really want you to, I guess, question everything. That's one, and two, look up stuff all the time. Read as much as you can, find out and learn about the world, and the more you learn, you'll be less surprised about things, and you won't be, how can I say, you won't be a rookie anymore. That's a good way to say it, because the more experience you get and the more knowledge you have, you can make better decisions and understand the world a little bit better. I want to show you guys a couple more pictures here, and also talk about Sports Illustrated particularly. The other thing that's facing media challenges today is the rise of AI. You can see they already had some crazy scandal. There's some issue with like fake reviews, or like people, writing stories, but maybe they use AI to write their stories because they're facing money issues, right? And so you'll have another problem coming out in the future as well, where there's so much AI/fake content, unchecked content, because when a human can check something, yes, humans can make mistakes. Yes, it's true. Yes, they totally can. But at a reputable organization, the human, hopefully, right, it will have a structure in place where the editor is like looking at something, they have 4 or 5 people checking stuff, these kind of things, and hopefully try to get things right. So for those of you, who understand how AI works, AI can just like spit out stuff quickly. The person who's putting out the AI content doesn't even, check it all, even know, even understand what the stuff is saying. And also too, you can just make up fake photos, etc. So this is going to be a big problem going forward regarding information. And moreover, we live in a world where like people think that if you have the largest platform, we'll use the example of Elon Musk, then therefore everything you say must be true. And I can't even show you the picture, but I'll just give you an example. I was looking at something that Elon Musk posted just yesterday, and literally he puts like sexual photos on his Twitter. I'm not making it up. It's like people having sex, and I'm just like, okay, great. That's the world that we're going to where if you meme out the most funny thing possible, and sex related or drug related or whatever, it's like, oh, it's so funny, ha ha ha. And like, we're not even talking about anything anymore. Now we're just a bunch of goofballs in a clown show. And I worry that's where our world is going to. So anyway, I know this was a long video, but I hope you understand that the whole point of it and putting it all together. And let's see what happens and if more organizations can survive. But as I was saying, if you look at the stock as something like Arena Group, these kind of places are it's going to be tough going forward. So anyway, please share your thoughts on these things. I always appreciate your time, and I'll catch you next video.